Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I believe that I'm live here on my page for the first time in over a year, so I'm very excited. Also, had a bit of butterflies there just before I hit go live. So I felt like jumping onto this page to share some Arcturian and Angelic messages, Ascension news, delightful Ascension news, and some energy updates because there's so much going on right now, and a lot of you are feeling it. A lot of you are, experiencing all sorts of things as we come to the end of 2024. So providing that my throat holds out, because my throat's a little bit ropey, I will get through some messages that I wanted to share with you. So do drop me a hello if you're here live and it's been a while for me, or drop me a hello if you're on the replay as well, because I'll check in with the comments afterwards. So yeah, let me just make sure I'm connected, and then I'm going to jump in with some energies. And because I'm a channel, I'll do a quick intro in a minute, just in case you're new to me, but because I'm a channel, I'm in channel now, so I'm connected to my team. And what happens is I never plan live streams. I just, like today, I'm just live, and then whatever comes out, and then they'll often just channel through messages for me, tuning into the energies of those of you who are watching now, or are going to find your way to this, maybe 3 days from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now. A lot of the time with my content, people find their way to it in the exact perfect time. So I love that. So let me just double check that I am in the right place. I think I am. Oh, let's see. Yes, okay. The connection's a little bit funny, so let's see how we go. So welcome. So in case you're new to me, I'm Marie Fleming Grant, and I'm founder of The Awake Revolution. That's the name of my business, where I deliver all of my services and offerings to help people shift and move through crazy times. And I'm very much here for the starseeds, the light workers, the way showers, humanitarians, anyone who feels that they are conscious in the way that we understand being a conscious one. And I help really guide you into a higher frequency. So lots of different ways, channelings, healings, activations, all sorts of things. So there's a link wherever you're watching this. You can just check those all out in your own time. So I'm also a channel. So I've been channeling since 2021, when a lot of you who are connected with me back then, you were on that journey with me. And those of you who've just found me now, you'll never know that I wasn't a channel. But in 2021, it was when I was activated, quite surprisingly, and I was able to just channel through my team, who are the Arcturian High Council and the High Angelic realm, which are the most beautiful energies. And yeah, we'll share some stuff through my channel from them today. And yeah, so since 2021, my mission has elevated, and I've really stepped out. I've been more vocal about things going on in the world, as many of you also have. And yeah, I'm not turning down the volume anytime soon. So it was about time I got back onto live streams. I used to live stream quite a lot. For the last year, I've had a break. Apart from one podcast live stream I did with Lara Starr on her page, I haven't live streamed out here. So it does feel a little bit nerve-wracking in a good way, in an exciting way. But yeah, my live stream muscle has not been used, so I'm going to be here a lot more to share stuff with you. So so do say hello if you're here, because I love to connect and I love to feel the energies as well. But I've got a few notes, because I was channeling. I'm always channeling, and sometimes when I get into a conversation, I just make little notes for things that I want to share, things that are important for certain people to know. So I'm just going to, if I look down, I'm just looking at my phone because I did make some notes. So we want to start then. If I say we, it's I and me. I'm just referring to me and my team of Arcturians and Angelics. So we want to share with you that there are challenges. Of course, there are many challenges happening right now. Could be in the country that you're in, or it could be that you're seeing this roll out in the world. We're not stupid. We know that there's a lot going on, right? So my messages are never love and light only, and look away from all of that. I'm very real, and I like to not focus on it, but I like to bring it into context. Like, we know that there's stuff happening. We know that since 2020, it's been a complete shit show, right, in a lot of ways. And it's been a real journey for all of us between 2020 and 2024, about to go into 2025. And this period hasn't been easy. So alongside this, we want to acknowledge the difficulty. And first of all, they just want to thank you. So thank you, they're saying, for being the conscious soul that you are, for being, many of you spoke out, many of you shared things that you were sharing with your communities and your connections. And so we want to thank you. They're saying thank you for having the courage to do this, even though perhaps many of you have felt rejected from some of your communities or your social circles or people that, you know, your loved ones. But we are acknowledging, they're saying, your courage, your bravery, and they're just sending you love. They just want to send you so much love, because some of you are feeling some anger. Yeah, so as you're witnessing more people becoming more conscious, some of you are feeling wonderful about this, but some of you are also feeling a little irritated or even some anger coming up. So to acknowledge that there may be this energy that you're holding in the body, and it may be coming up, and allow this process, allow for your body to process this energy and allow it to pass. Don't stay there, but allow it to pass, because you're all having the human experience. Even though you're a higher consciousness soul, you're still in this body having a very human experience. And they're saying also some of you are perhaps being very harsh on yourself for when you feel this way. You are perhaps telling yourself that you need to be in a better place or in a more patient, loving place, but really you are feeling the frustration. And so allow yourself to move through this. It does not take away from your higher consciousness, but you are having the human experience. And so we send you love. They're just kind of bestowing lots of love and blessings onto you if you're receiving this message. And we appreciate you, we love you, we see you, and we know that you are experiencing what you're experiencing, and you are not alone. You're not going through any of this alone, even though you may feel at times that you are. So that's the first thing. So hopefully receive that. Whoever needs to receive that, I hope you receive that. Hello, Pink Gem Spiritual. I've just got the comments switched on now so I can see you. Hello, nice to have you here. Okay, so that was the first thing they wanted to kind of flow through. Let's see, I'll go back to my notes and then I'll kind of flow through, and we'll sort of work that way. So there is incredible news to share, and the purpose of this, we want to, they're saying, help you shift your thoughts and your frequency so that you can come out of this live stream feeling some more lightness. It's resonant. Okay, good. It resonates. I'm so glad. So for you to feel some lightness by the end of this, because even though there's a lot happening, we are seeing more stuff coming up now, and we're seeing more craziness. You know, even a couple of weeks ago here in the UK, we had all this stuff around the milk and the stuff going into it. We're seeing more news now about, I'm being careful of wording here. I have always been careful of wording here, but the substances that many took in 2020 and 21, a lot in the news now and various other places, we're seeing more stories, you know, coming up around injuries and impacts that's had on many people. So a lot of stuff is coming up to the surface. And so when you focus on it, it might look as if the world's going to shit, or, you know, oh my God, it's getting worse. Oh my God, they're ramping up the stuff. They are ramping up some stuff, but we'll get into this today. There's a reason for that, but we want to share that we are headed in the right trajectory. That is the most important thing to know as you're here on your mission. All of you, if you're watching this live stream, you are most certainly on a mission. You would not be tuning into me and my energies if you weren't. So it's important for you to remember that as you're here on your mission, that it's not all as it seems. And sometimes we get hooked into this energy because we're seeing it all the time. So our kind of intention is to remind you that there's more going on behind the scenes. Remember, this is why you came here to see this through, right? So first thing they want to share, then we spoke about me and my team a few days ago, the world is shifting. The world is shifting massively. And one of the messages that I've been getting repeatedly is that starseeds, conscious souls, whatever term you want to use, will outnumber the non-star seeds. That's the easiest way to describe it. There will come a time on this planet where those of us who are aware of stuff right now, we can feel in the minority. That's not always going to be the case, because many are exiting, which is also bringing up a lot of stuff. The younger generation, many of you are going to know, let me know if this is true, many of you are going to know already some younger children who are already, you're noticing that there's a higher consciousness, and they are almost further along in their consciousness awareness than we were, because a lot of us grew up in a complete forgetfulness and we had to go through massive catastrophe to have an awakening, right? That was me, probably is to you as well in some level. So we're going to see a lot of the younger children coming up behind us that have this higher consciousness, and babies now that are being born into conscious families, they're going to have an even heightened awareness. And then can you imagine in 20 years' time, right? Those children will have grown up, they will be having their own families, and then the lineage is going to change, the DNA is going to change, and then the children that are going to come in those times, they're coming into a world with a lot more light. So the reason we want to share this with you, so you're seeing this with your sons, amazing, I love that. Yep. So some of you will have starseed children, yeah, and you see it in people in their 20s. Yep, we're seeing it more and more. This is why we're seeing also a lot of different ways of existing. There's this kind of joke around the younger generation at the moment, like, oh, they can't do a 9 to 5. There's a reason that's coming in. They're not plugging into this old slave mentality. That's why we've got a lot of YouTubers making a lot of money. They're like 12 years old because they've already unplugged from all of this slavery, right? They've already worked it out. Like I had to wait till I was like 35, 34 to go, oh, maybe I could create my own way, right? So some of these kids are doing it really early. They're much further ahead, yeah. So the reason why we want to remind you is because sometimes, depending on the generation that you're in and the people that you're surrounding yourself with, it can look as if it's all on our shoulders, and that if we don't change things in the next 5 minutes or by Christmas or by Easter or whenever, the world is doomed. And we've got to remember that all of us being here, there were loads of people that walked the path to enable us to come in at our level and do all of what we've been doing, right, in our own ways. And then we're paving the way for the other generations that are coming in. They're going to do the same. And so it's an evolution. So this is why we've got to get out of this whole kind of pressure rush. We need to awaken now. It's a process. Like the Awake Revolution is the name of my business. It was channeled through in 2020 before it made sense to me. But the reason, it's because there's a revolution, and it's an awake revolution, but it's happening in stages. So the reason we're sharing this is so that you can just breathe out for a minute, because some of you are feeling this pressure, and to just relax and know that this is a team effort. This is a team effort, and we are doing so many things. I saw a post just came into my mind. I was scrolling through some posts the other day, and it was quite funny because people were kind of going, oh, it's about time, people need to wake up, and I've known all of this for the last 5 years and people need to wake up. And then it was a woman in the comments, and she said, I've been waiting for all of you since 1944. And it stopped me in my tracks, and I could feel the energy, because I feel energy through comments. And this woman particularly, like, she really meant it, and I could feel this like love from her, kind of an exhaustion from her. It was like, finally all of you people are waking up now, and I've been waiting for years for this, right? So there we all are, like a lot of people right now going, well, everybody who didn't get it in 2020 needs to get it now. We've got to remember that we didn't get it maybe however many years ago, or maybe we weren't even born yet onto this timeline. So it just puts it into perspective. It made me laugh. So there are people and souls coming in We're also going to have, they're just telling me now, we're going to have more walk-ins. I am so interested in this topic. A walk-in soul is interesting. So instead of the soul dropping in from birth, like how we are. Hello, Neil. Hello, lovely to have you here. Instead of having the soul drop in the way that we know, right, from birth and then living the human experience, the soul sometimes will choose to come in as a walk-in, which means, let's say somebody's living their life, they decide to exit, it's their time, they want to leave, their cycle's complete. Sometimes that soul will make a contract with another soul. That soul, as they exit, instead of passing away and having an end to this body, another soul will hop in its place and basically take it from here. So this is why sometimes people can know others and they say, oh, they've had a huge personality change. It's like a completely different person. So we're seeing more walk-in souls, which is interesting, and that's also a way that starseeds can hop in. So if you think about starseeds, walk-ins, current starseeds, walk-ins, and then the newer consciousness coming in through our young, we've got it covered, right? We've got it covered, so we don't need to panic. We are doing exactly as we said we're going to do. And I just feel like my job right now today is to remind you of this, because a lot of you have lost heart in the last little while, and tuning into the energy. Some of you have, some of you are all go go go, but some of you are feeling a little weary and a bit tired. So we just wanted to remind you of that. So take the pressure off. Absolutely. Let me just find my charger and plug myself back in before I go. Every time I channel on a live stream, the battery goes really quick. Okay, can you hear me now? because I don't know if anyone can hear me, but I am on and the mic is on and the sound is so strange. Little interfering energy, I think. You can hear me now? Okay, I'm going to keep going. Really strange. I'm just going to ask my team to help and assist with the technologies, so that we're not disturbed. So something really strange is going on with the technologies. Okay. Okay, so I hope that you can hear me. I'm just going to keep going. It's a very weird connection. Just give me one more comment. Just if somebody can just write the word purple in the comments so I know that you just heard that, because there's a delay between me speaking and when your comments are coming up. So if someone can just write the word purple, I know that you're hearing me, even though the video is looking really robotic. The word purple, I know that I'm streaming and you can hear me. Purple. Okay, great. Thank you, Neil. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going because I don't know what's happening here. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're talking about starseed children. We're talking about more of this energy coming through. Okay, so the other thing we want to talk about, Ascension, delightful Ascension news, is this timeline shift. So I did do a post about it. It was around the US election time. I forget even when that date was. This isn't about politics, but it was about the fact that a lot of us woke up around that day, the next day, feel something in the air. We could feel, some people could see it, some people could feel it, some people could just get a sense of this massive timeline shift. And that day I was able to see, because my seeing abilities really activated this year. And so I was able to see that the timeline had dramatically shifted so that we had averted this very lower vibrational timeline. So putting politics aside, because I'm not here to talk about that, it's to do with the energetics though. So I shared that and we want to share it again to say that what is happening is that sometimes we're going to have an echo of this lower timeline. So we're going to see, so for example, going back to this, right, that were mandated in certain areas in 2020 and 2021, the even though it looked bad and a lot of people, you know, have been affected by these, a lot of us didn't succumb to it, and we just said no from day one. Even though it looked really terrible, we have averted that timeline. And there was another timeline which I've tapped into with people under hypnosis, and I've seen it as well. There was another timeline where that 50 times worse. It could have really resulted in rounding us up, right, and putting us into camps and all sorts of horrible things. And a lot of us got that sense, didn't we? A lot of fear came up around, oh my goodness, what if that happens next? And the reason some of us were feeling that was because there was a residual energy coming in from that other timeline. So sometimes we have echoes coming into this timeline, but bottom line is that we have averted a really low vibrational timeline for humanity, where if we'd have gone down that trajectory, it wouldn't have been very good, right? The one we're on now, there's still going to be some things that we're going to have to move through. There are still going to be choices that we have to make, but we are on a much higher timeline. And you might have heard me say this a lot. It's the golden timeline that many beings out there refer to this one as the golden timeline, because this is the timeline where we get to outcreate all of what we're seeing. And so many of us are here with the specific intention of seeing this through. So I find that really an amazing thing to remember. I love reminding you of this so that you can just replay that in your mind, or replay this live stream anytime. You just need to tap into that energy, because it's very important. It's very important that we know that we're on a beautiful timeline shift and we've averted a lot of stuff, and we're going to continue to avert different things. As soon as they get rolled out, we're going to say no, we're going to outcreate, and there's going to be a lot of creation and innovation coming in, because we're not here to remain plugged in. Okay, Next thing we want to share is there are awakenings in all sectors, and they're already setting the path for new and better ways. So this is not just whether people see through the agendas or not. This is worldwide. It is a relief. Good. I'm so glad. It is a relief, right, to know that this stuff is not just one thing. It's worldwide. It's planetary. It's across every single structure that we have on this planet that's going through this big awakening. So we're going to see, and you may have heard me share this in the past, but we're going to see a lot of chaos in some areas, because there is no other way. We cannot move to this beautiful kind of timeline. We've created the amazing stuff without the dismantling of the stuff that we already have. So there's going to have to be a lot of existing structures that get pulled down. And, in that process, there's going to be confusion, chaos. Lots of humans who don't understand what we're doing are going to go into fear. So it's up to us to really hold steady, because you and I are having this conversation now, right? We already know, and we know what we're here for. So we've got to hold steady and not let ourselves be pulled into that fear. A lot of fear vibration around maybe people, your communities. So there will be a massive kind of paving for new and better ways. But before that, we're going to have to see a lot of shaking up of what is comfortable, what is familiar. And humans don't really like that. Humans like certainty and comfort and routine, right? And we're not here for that, because we're going to have the opposite of all of that. So Pink Gem saying husband is going through his awakening and he's had old fears coming up. Yeah, we all have. If you haven't had any fears whatsoever, you're probably going to go through more of an awakening, because we're gonna face those, and he's recognizing them too, which is good. Yeah, amazing, because that's part of this. We've got to kind of see, oh my God, I'm being triggered here. I can feel the fear, I can feel the stress, I can feel whatever it is I'm feeling. I'm going to just breathe through it, heal it if you need to, clear it if you need to. But yeah, we're going to see this dismantling. And it's not to say that we have to dismantle everything first before we get to build anything new, because we can do that simultaneously. We're already seeing amazing things coming through, but just so that we understand what we're seeing, there is going to be a lot of like pulling down old stuff, right? So just be prepared is all we're saying. And we do not need to go into fear if we understand. It's like going to a building site and freaking out because the wrecking ball's coming in, pulling down that old shabby building, and we're freaking out because there's glass everywhere and we wanted to grow, a beautiful garden. We can't freak out at the wrecking ball because it's part of the creation of it, right? So this is why I don't freak out when I start to see things. But we're going to see it in all sectors. We're going to look at food, for example. We're going to see it in food. We're going to start seeing, oh my God, they're putting this into that. I just encourage you, if you're not already, to start reading ingredients lists on everything, and you'll just start to take a step out of that, and you're going to go, do I want to put this in my body with all this ingredients list that I can't even pronounce? There's a lot of that going on. It's across all industries. We're going to see an upheaval in education, legal, politics, healthcare, obviously. School systems, as I said, food products, even the way that we connect online. So much is going to happen, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And as always, all we have to do is not try and figure it all out at once. We just have to, one, know that it's going to happen, understand that, preempt that we know that there's going to be some chaos and craziness, and then we make decisions. So when something comes into your field, you can just go, do I want to say yes or no to that, right? If your local restaurant starts to say, you must scan something to get in, we must scan your eyes for you to get in, that is a complete choice. Some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And we're going to just keep making choices. And those of us making conscious choices are going to start to build this energy. And then watch and see. We're going to get the completely amazing creators coming out. There's going to be technological advancements that are here for humanity, that they've been waiting in the wings, waiting for the perfect time for the collective to be ready, right? So know that there's so much waiting in the wings, because I can see as I tap into the energies, there's so much waiting in the wings that it just needs its timing to come in. And our job is to say no to the things that we're not subscribing to, and we hold out, and then we opt in for the things that fill us up and light us up and make us feel connected, right? So there's loads happening, which I love. I absolutely love that. That makes me feel really, really relaxed and just really good, really reassured as well. Okay, so the other message that we wanted to share was to not divide people. Okay, so to get out of this, it's not always easy to get out of this division between even like those who are awake and those who aren't. Even some of the ways that I've spoken today might sound like, it's us, the connected ones, and those ones who aren't. That's not the energy that I mean to say it in, but it's just being aware that we don't want to divide people, because many people will get on board with some of what we're saying. And it's better for us to greet them with open arms when they do, rather than what I'm seeing a lot on social media is people getting annoyed. And if this is you, this is said with love, so just recognize it. But people getting annoyed with other people for not seeing. Why are they so stupid? Why do they not see? But instead of, when we do that, we're pointing the finger. And then as you're very hard on those people, it means that when they awaken, they either won't or they will. But if they do, when they activate and they awaken and they realize, whoa, this is not what I thought it was, they're going to need some place to gravitate towards. And if you've closed those doors and locked them out in the cold, it's slowing the whole process down. So I'm saying this carefully because I know some of you have been really heartbroken over this, and I know that, I understand that. But if you can, just see what you can do to heal those parts, release whatever you need to release, and start to see it from a perspective of, if people were to awaken, because I get a lot of messages, they're reminding me now that people will continue awakening. I saw a post recently and it said something like, we're at end game. Whoever's awake now is awake and that's it. That is not true. That is not true. There are people who are, I can even feel people tuning into my messages now that weren't tuning into me in 2020. And I love that. I love that so much. People are starting to awaken. They're starting to feel an activation happening. And, if you're someone who knew all about this in 2020, you've had time, right? You've had 4 years to digest, process, go through your anger, go through your outrage. Remember going down the rabbit hole? A lot of us did, around the children stuff on the planet. And that was tough, really tough. I remember having a good few days of just crying and just feeling very, very, very upset, very disturbed by it. We've gone through the process. So we've had 4 years to go through it. Some people are going to go through that and they're going to just start beginning. Some of you maybe even watching, you're going to start to resonate with some of my messages now. You're going to start to feel like you're drawn here and you don't even know why, because there's a reason for that. Some people, though, are going to get more of a rude awakening, because maybe they're going to have the consequences of some of the choices that they've made, and it's going to be very difficult. So a lot of people are, let's go back to the substances thing, a lot of people are realizing that now because they're seeing people close to them experiencing consequences of that. And that's a very, very tough thing to go through. So I feel I have a lot of love and compassion for people. So our message to you is be where you are, but just be mindful of this, because we want to keep the door open, have our arms open to welcome anyone that wants to connect and they want to start becoming more conscious, right? Because this is not over. We're going to have people awakening next year, 2025, 2 years from now, right? At all different stages. It's going to be really interesting. You may even be surprised, they're saying. You may even be surprised, some of you, who will end up from your circle, who will end up communicating with you, connecting back in with you from a different space. So just be ready, be open. And I love that message. Okay. Little message on AI. So because of this year, 2024, we've been seeing so many things, right? With AI has just taken on this whole thing this year, we're even seeing it like online all the time. Yeah, so they're just reminding us that there is an issue, of course, with AI, because a lot of it is it's programmed. It's not the AI. I will do something separate on AI another time. I did one a year ago, but there's a lot more to say now. But it's not the AI. It is partly. there's different levels to this, but it's the way that it's programmed currently. Is obviously not for humanity. It's sneaky and deceptive, right? So a lot of us know that. But as a result, what they really want to share with you is that because there's more AI, as soon as you've got more heavy, dark stuff coming in, it's going to take over some people. We're already seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of AI in people's energy fields at the moment. I really am. I'm doing a lot of AI clearing from people. And I do it on myself. Having an online business, of course, I have to make sure I do that for myself as well. But there is also, as a result of that, humanity is activating. So what's going to happen is, even though we're going to see some stuff, again, we're going to have a choice to make. Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? Yes or no? But because there's going to be such a drive now, we're going to see it even more in 2025, for everything to be automated, for AI to do all the things, because it's quicker and more efficient and blah, blah, blah. You're going to, out of that. So imagine like a big bubble over here of all AI. And everyone that's in scarcity and fear will love this, because it will mean, well, some of them will love it because it will mean that they can quickly do things, not get left behind, right? Some of them are just going to go into fear around it. They're going to say, oh my God, AI is going to take my job and I'm going to be penniless and starving and me and my family are going to die. That's the survival fear. But as a result of that, you're going to have people who are going to start to go, I don't want that. I want human connection. And then what's going to happen is that it brings us. I'm going to kind of say it brings us online. It brings the heart chakra fully online, right? It opens us up, and watch and see. You're going to start to really value now, like things you didn't value before. So there'll be a time, maybe you'll go into a restaurant and you'll see, oh, this has got like actual waiters and waitresses, right? Waiting staff. This is amazing. And you're going to go in, you're going to enjoy the service because it's by a human, right? And you maybe will avoid, like that would be me. I will avoid, is my preference. I will avoid going into a restaurant where it's being served with AI bots. No, thank you. I don't really feel like that right now. I especially with my food, there's an energy around food, and I don't like the AI around the food. So it will be a real treat then to go into a restaurant with people, right? Or you might go into quaint little shops now that have actual staff. Like I will pride myself, for example, in my business, I don't want to do the automated chat stuff. Like where you message me, say you send me a private DM, and then there'll be an automated chatbot thing back to you. Fine if you like that in your business, but I just don't resonate with it. And the Awake Revolution doesn't resonate with it. So I'll be probably, that'll be like a selling point in the future where I say, you're going to get me in the messenger, right? Like I'm going to speak, or even if it's not me, it'll be another human, right? If I had like loads of messages. So we're going to be activated into more of a humanity and more of a connection. So it's going to be quite funny to see that everything that comes in that's bullshit, we're going to have a response to it that's actually going to elevate us. And that's how I see it. So invitation to you if you want to see it that way as well. But that's how I see it, literally how I see it in the energetics. And I love it. Yeah. And so just the final part, because I'm not going to go too long, but the final part is just to remind you that it's time now to activate the next part of your mission. So if you're still with me and you're watching now or on the replay, this is directly for you. It's time to start activating the next part of your mission. So whether that's, for some of you, that's going to be healing, clearing. Some of you, that's going to be resting, recovering at the moment. It might be taking steps to pursue something or create something new or expanding existing things. It's a clear, they're just sharing with you a clear invitation to you to step up into the next part of your mission, because we don't want stagnancy. We want to be moving. So again, for some of you, resting is the movement that you need. So it's not just you have to be out there doing things, but there is a lot of need now for you to allow yourself to release these restrictions. We've got to remember that no matter how aware we are all unlearning, myself included. We're unlearning things that we've picked up through this lifetime. We are like deprogramming from the programs that have been placed into us from birth. A lot of how the world works, a lot of things we picked up through the school system, through the work system, whatever other system you've been involved in. So it's time now to really, they're just saying, to really start to break away from this. It really is. It's activating your courage now. We've had these years to prepare, because there's a lot of, I haven't done the energy updates yet for 2025. I will, but what's coming in now, they're just showing me it's big energy. It's big energy. It's big forward moving momentum. For those of you who have already done, a lot of healing, clearing, you've been sort of going through that, more for that type of person. But even if you haven't, you'll still be doing it. But there is big energy for 2025. 2025 isn't a quiet float through it year. It's big. It's big, it's connected, it's humanitarian in nature. So I will tune into that more specifically another time, but just to kind of give you a little snippet. So coming out of fear is really important, and seeing through the illusion is really important. And that includes, like we spoke of earlier, seeing through whatever you see in front of you. That is not the end game. That is just a piece of whatever is happening, so that we can see it, say no, and then out create it. So to know that you are infinite, we want to remind you, they're saying that you are multi-dimensional. You are multi-dimensional. This means that you exist here, and you also exist in other places, parts of you. And so you are more powerful than you realize. You are not perhaps seeing the full nature of who you are. And so we want to remind you that you are an immense power in your physical form. And this is why they're just showing me that those on the planet, who are doing all the programming and controlling, they have to spend trillions and trillions and trillions over thousands of years to keep us down. If we weren't powerful, they wouldn't need to do all of that. So think about that for a moment. All of what they have to pull out to keep us down is because by nature, these human forms that we're in are very, very, very capable. We can do all sorts of things with the human form. We can heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves of lots of things. We are our own healers. We are able to activate different parts of ourselves. We are able to connect into this power source that's inside of us. We can connect into it. We can connect into the higher self. You can all connect to your teams. You all have divine teams, guidance teams. You can do all of these things. It's just you don't realize that you can, some of you. And it's time to remember. It's time to remember the true nature of who you are. This is beyond, remember who you are in a quote. It's like, really remember your true nature. Your true nature is a higher consciousness being that's come down into this timeline. And they always say it, you wanted front row tickets. You did not want to miss out on this because it was too big. It was too expansive and memorable and exciting, right? There's too much going on. So you didn't want to be on another timeline and miss this one. You really wanted to be here. So I'm just sharing that with you. We're just sharing that with you so that you can remember. As we're speaking to you, your soul, your higher self, so that you can remember. Remembering why you came, remembering that was very specific. You made a very clear decision to drop down. Otherwise, you could have decided to come in 100 years from now, right? But you didn't. You are courageous. You are experienced. You are highly trained, including all of you who feel that you don't know what you're doing right now. You're highly trained. You're highly trained, and you do know what you want to do. It's just you're too in the human programming right now to give yourself permission to know, but you do know. You know why you're here. You know what you've come to do. You know what you've come to bring. You know that you have energies and codes inside of you that some of you are yet to be activated. Some of you have already been activated. Some of you are finding your way. Some of you just need to clear your system so that you can see and that you can connect. There's lots of different things. So we want to remind you that there is no accident that you're listening to this message. You did not have to tune into this, but here you are, whether you're here live or on the replay, or you're watching this in, I'm going to say 2027, because I think someone is going to watch it in 2027. So hello to you if you're watching it in 2027. We can feel you now. Yeah, there is someone that's going to watch it. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's now about really disconnecting from this 3D world, right? It doesn't mean you have to be up in the clouds. Like, I'm very ground, like my feet are on the ground. I am an ex-lawyer. That used to be my job. So I like evidence, I like logic as well, but my feet are firmly on the ground, but I'm very connected, and I can see beyond all of this. And this is what I want you to feel as well. Because there's so much more. There's so much more going on. So that is enough for now. I could go on, but I won't. A couple of things I just want to share with you. So I have got, I've got a few, like I do quite a few different things. So I'm going to just leave the links. Best you just check it out yourself if you're drawn to anything I've said here, because there are ways that I could do channeling. I do activations for people, and I do I have a high level channel academy. For those of you, that's very specific, for those of you who feel that they want to connect in a certain way. But the thing I really want to share, because it's coming up, is my coded clearing program. So that is my program starting on the 8th of January, where it's 6 weeks, and we're going to go through a very deep clearing group program, very deep clearing, which is going to clear so much from your energy field. This is transformational. A lot of my services are very specific, and they're kind of good for certain people at certain times. If there was one thing of what I offer that I would say, if you can step into it, please step into it, it would be this coded clearing, because it's the thing that's going to help clear your entire energy field. And then you can also learn as you're doing it. You will know by the end of it how to do it for yourself. And this is a skill that I just would like as many people as possible to be able to have in a very safe, very powerful way. So anyway, the link is for that, wherever you're watching this. If you're here on Facebook, just look in the description above. If you're watching on YouTube later, yeah, look in the video description, or maybe in the comments, I'll put it there. Yeah, and check that out, because we're starting in January, and there is a Christmas bonus for anyone that signs up before Christmas. Basically, by this Friday the 20th, I'm going to do a little laser focused channeled audio for you, where you can ask me an area or a few questions, and I'll channel it. I don't need to speak to you. I can just channel it through, and I'll send you that as a little extra gift. That's for anyone that signs up before this Friday the 20th. But even if you don't sign up this week, you can still sign up whenever after the Christmas period, and we're going to start on the 8th of January. So that's that's really powerful. But check out all my stuff on the link above, and that is it, because I could go on. I could just talk, so I'm going to stop. My throat is is starting to go now, so a little bit of a sore throat today. So I send you so much love. We send you so much love. We hope that you received something that was useful for you from this live stream, and I will be back here very soon with some specific stuff, because I'm going to get back into my live streaming, because I really enjoy connecting here. And as a channel, I'm supposed to speak. So I've had a year break, and that's long enough. All right, thank you, Pink Gem, beautiful lady. I'm glad you feel better. I'm really glad. So you received whatever you needed. Good. That is my aim. I want you to feel, hopefully whoever's tuning in, you will feel lighter and brighter and more connected by the end. Like, I do not do fear, and yeah, there's no need to go into fear. And even if we're talking about world stuff, and there'll probably be some live streams where I did a whole Awakened Lippy. It was called Awakened Lippy. I think it was in 2021 now. And my husband Michael, he did a lot of those episodes with me, and we went into all the topics, but never in fear or in a heavy vibration. So I'm glad that you feel better by the end of it. And I send you so much love. So thank you for all of you tuning in live. It's been really nice to have you here, and I could feel the nice energy. And thank you if you're watching the replay. Feel free to comment, as I will check back as well, and I'll answer you in the comments if I make sure, as long as I see them. So yeah, that is it for now. So look after yourself. Know how powerful you are. Know that we're on this mission. It is going really well. The Ascension continues. It's not going to be without some dramas, some intrigue, some plot twists, but we are doing it. All right, so we can just sit back a little bit, take a breather, and maybe hopefully take a bit of a time out or relax if you can over the festive season. A good year at the end of the year, good time at the end of the year is to just reflect and just look back at all of what you've done and moved through this year. All right, so I will love you and leave you, and I hope that this connection was good, so that you heard most of that. Yeah, and I'll be back here very soon. So have a good rest of your day or evening, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.